Another edition of Semi-Pro Gridiron Rants. Yours truly, Jamie Hantke here. Ken Anderson to my left. Am I to your right? I don't know how it lines up in different computers.
Well, on my computer, I'm on the right, but I do the mirror. I do the mirror image.
Yeah.
So it gets a little wanky. That's why sometimes I point down and I'm really pointing away. It's just
gotcha. All right. Well, yeah, it's Zoom. What are you going to do, right? So here we are. Obviously, last week was good chat. It was with Craig James there from the Duval Raiders. Good times there. And it's been a very slow week in the world of sports, man. That is for damn sure.
It has to. But before we jump into sports,
yep.
You had a little home project today that
oh my God,
apparently got out of control on you. Now, folks, he's rebuilding a deck. Luckily, he's not building it from ground up. So I gave him a couple pointers because I did a huge deck, 2,500 square foot rebuild. Basically, the frame's good, but you're just laying deck boards. But as I was driving home, I noticed apparently the project got enlarged.
It got a little bit bigger. We had stairs we had to tear out. There was a wall that I had built to keep the dirt back within the 4x4s of the deck. That had to get torn down. Nice. So it was really fun. A lot of slugs today. We found it looks like some sort of skull. I'm thinking maybe a squirrel or a mouse or something.
Okay.
So there's that. But yeah, I had to call it. We got to a point when I was we ripped the boards off. We just cut them with a regular saw, a circular saw, and then we started sawzalling them. I know you told me to do it the other way, but it wasn't feasible for us. So, so now we're in the sawzalling screws out at this point, and let me tell you how much that sucks.
That sucks a lot, dude.
3 hours and like 90 degrees. I was like, man, we're done. Yeah. I'm done for the day.
Yeah. I used one of those like hand grinders after a while. I was using a sawzall and I got pissed off, and then my dad had a hand grinder I borrowed, and just that's
probably a lot easier.
Dude, it was zoom, 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 zoom. So I flew through that. But yeah, it's the joy of reconstruction is who the hell knows what you got going on underneath there once you take it all apart.
Well, and there was a bunch of boards I had rotted from just water and whatever.
Right.
So we had to do it, and luckily the guts of the deck, we don't have to replace anything underneath. Everything is good. So we just have to dig out more dirt. That's going to be even funner when we have to do that.
Yeah, that's more fun for sure.
Yes.
So listen, before we jump into sports, talk a little bit about that shirt you got on today.
The Fatletic, baby.
Yeah.
This is my entire life. I wish I had this when I was a kid. You know what I mean? But this is one of my 315 strong ones. Shirts that we have. I mean, you've worn the belly shirt. I think that's one of your favorite shirts.
I love that shirt.
So yeah, we this was one that it was a hashtag that was out there, but I put it on a shirt because I'm fat and I used to be athletic. I'm not so athletic anymore. So
So listen, guys, we don't promote much. This show really wasn't meant for us to promote much of anything, to be honest with you. But if you want one of Jamie's shirts, dude, he makes them himself. Just shoot me an email or shoot him an email or DM us and just say, yo, I want the Fatletic shirt or I want the Power Belly shirt.
Power Belly. I got plenty of Power Belly shirts.
Or the Viking shirt.
We were supposed to be at the Arnold's this year, and that got obviously shut down. So I have plenty of stock on the belly shirt and the Viking shirt.
Absolutely. So if anyone wants a shirt to work out in or just to work in the lawn in or whatever, dude, the Power Belly one, dude, I promise you, if you get that one, you're going to get some looks. People are going to look at you.
Chicks dig the Power Belly, bro.
The Power Belly, baby. You better believe it.
You like my new camera, though, dude?
I do. Hey, listen, so some of you notice I'm the one who tries to innovate, right? I think last week I added the green screen effect. I had pros and cons on that.
Yep.
So I'm still tampering with that, figure out which way I want to go. But Jamie told me originally he was going to I got my camera from my phone and that's all I'm doing it.
Right there, baby. I got the note.
The last couple of weeks, he's upgraded to. He's got headphones on this week. He's tried headphones a couple of times. He bought a microphone a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
This week he broke down. He's got a camera, and within that camera, I don't know if you noticed, right at the top of his skull, right there, that is his 2011 Syracuse Shock helmet.
Right? Which one? The white one?
The white one.
The white one was the original. That's the 09.
Right. That was 09, 10, and 11 is when I went to the black.
Yep.
So the one over his shoulder, pull that over real quick.
Oh.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that helmet. So yeah, we kind of
on here.
When I purchased the team, we kind of inverted their color scheme. So we went
a little dusty still.
Yeah, we went a little blackout that year.
Yeah,
which was
so we went black, and if you look really close, it sparkles.
Oh yeah.
So instead of getting the silver sparkles, I got the gold sparkles because I need to be special.
Of course.
But it has still live buck marks left on the helmet, right? Okay, all right. You don't ever clean any of that up, dude. I could just still put my head in this one. This is one of those newer helmets, man. This is like,
Oh yeah, I don't even have one that new.
Yeah, I bought this brand new because when I came back to play for you, before I went into the whole owner thing with you, I didn't have any gear. I had that helmet, and I'm like, I can't wear that. It's white. I don't feel like dealing with it. So I had to buy new shoulder pads. I had to buy a helmet. So here we are. Look at that.
That's what fat leets do, buddy.
You're jealous, aren't you?
I am.
You're jealous.
I actually wish I could have had one of those helmets. So if any one of my shock dudes are listening, you got a helmet you don't want that happens to be black, I'd like to have that for my mantle.
I'll tell you, the only helmet I don't have because I let someone use it one year was my original helmet that I bought, the Air. My first helmet I ever bought when I played for the Express, the Air pad in there,
right?
The pump up air pad, was the Express helmet I had, and I wore that all the way through till I got that white one. And that white one I played with the Syracuse Soldiers Arena team, and then I played with that my last couple of years with the Express, and then when we switched over to the Shock. But I don't have that helmet, and I'm still pissed I don't have that helmet. But what are you gonna do?
It happens.
Yep.
So let's jump into some sports. So what we've got in the world of sports is
it's been a little bit of stuff.
It's been a bitching week mostly, but let's get a little bit of the actual players on the field. So right now, I'm not a big lacrosse. I played indoor mostly just to stay in shape in the off season, in the winter and in the summer.
I'm impressed by that.
I was kind of the enforcer. My dudes just said, "Hey, go hit that guy." Like the first time I played, dude, I released because you come out of the penalty box, right?
Yeah,
so I released. I sprinted across the field and checked the dude over the wall.
Do you know when you play
I instantly got a 2-minute.
When you play beer league lacrosse, you're not supposed to do that kind of stuff, right?
Well, so my head football coach, my defense coordinator coach was the head of that league.
Okay.
And I got a tongue lashing, and I got 2 minutes. So I was on the field for about 15 seconds, and I got a 2-minute. First game ever playing lacrosse. So
this is what kids from Fulton do, huh? Jesus Christ.
Well, when you don't know how to play the game, that's kind of
That's true.
So so tell me a little about this MLL. Looks like they're starting up.
So Major League Lacrosse this week, today's first game going on right now, which is funny because there's 2 pro men's leagues. Major League Lacrosse has been the one that's been there for who knows how many years, but Denver's playing Connecticut, which I want to say Connecticut might be a new team. So that's actually happening today. There's the first game, and then the PLL, which my boy Rick Beardsley, which we have to have Beardsley on the show at some point, who was the pro MLL, played at SU, All-American. It's one of the reasons that I wanted to play lacrosse was because of him, which is kind of weird that we're friends now. But the Premier Lacrosse League, he actually coaches for one of the teams. It's funny, the Premier League, though, they don't have cities. You know how they have more of just, they call themselves, like I think he coached for the Atlas. There's no direct city that they're connected to, so they can kind of play wherever. So that's kind of cool. They start up at the end of the month. So in a couple, I think next week they start up. So that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm looking on their website, MLL, and it says the New York Lizards played the Boston Cannons. Boston won 16-14.
Yeah.
And Connecticut Hammerheads versus the Denver Outlaws. They start at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that should be kicking off right about now. So awesome. Okay, so that's MLL. Nice to see. Do you know if there's any fans in attendance?
I do not know. I'm sure there probably isn't. Okay. I mean.
Yeah. Well, we'll check ESPN and Fox Sports and see if we got any
live sports. If you're playing live sports right now, you're getting major coverage. I mean,
right. You could be professional bowler, and if there's 2 people in the stands, man, you're getting some coverage.
Yes, you are.
Because there's nothing else going on.
No, there's not.
So now's the time. Hey, and if you want to start a stupid podcast, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, don't tell them that. There's a lot of people doing that. Don't do that. Bad idea.
Absolutely. Wolf started a couple his own too, buddy. You should see.
He?
He's got a military one that just started. It's pretty cool because they're going after on average. I haven't had the whole podcast, but on average, 22 former military or current military people per day commit suicide.
Yeah, Yep.
Part of his pledge through that is try to lower that number one by one. So, you know, I don't have the whole name of it. It's something rant, rattle, and roll. So
Okay.
it's like, I think it's military rant, rattle, and roll, something like that. I'll get more information on that, and we'll just kind of stream it. Well, he's probably going to guest host next week because Hantke's on assignment again next week, folks.
Don't camp it, man. Come on now.
So
I'm sorry that I get to get out of the house and you're stuck at home all the time, right?
That's all right, buddy. Well,
Yeah.
I go to my buddy's pools over the weekend, man.
Did they shut? Is Texas shut down now, or what's going on down there?
There's a mask law in effect, or mask ordinance, but no, pretty much.
All right. Okay. Lucky
but yep. So baseball.
Yep.
As we speak, Phillies and the Nationals are playing. They're in the third inning. Phillies are up 7-0. Gotta love preseason baseball.
Have you watched any of this yet? I mean, I haven't really dug in too much into any live sports right now. So
no, I saw a couple highlights of some of the guys coming out of the dugouts and just soft tossing on the field, but nothing crazy yet. So, but we should see some spring training highlights tonight. I know from the Yankees, DJ LeMahieu had the Rona, so he's got his quarantine requirements before he can come back to the team and whatnot. But hopefully he may or may not be ready for opening day, which is going to be next week.
Yeah.
So we're less than a week away from baseball, buddy.
Yeah, that's good. At least it's something to watch. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you saw, not to jump topics here, but Boomer Esiason was saying in a podcast, somebody had asked him a question about, do you think these major college football teams are actually not intentionally, but unintentionally, because you see a lot of these college kids that are testing positive, right, are unintentionally being around each other to kind of get that herd immunity. You know what I mean? So that's something interesting that I wonder if, baseball, and nobody wants to have this, but I think you're seeing a lot of people positive, but they don't really have symptoms. And I've seen that too. But
that herd immunity theory is interesting because, I mean, let's be honest, this isn't the first pandemic that this globe's ever had.
No.
So, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a scientist or a doctor.
Right. Yeah, I don't know shit. I'll be honest with you.
But, the human race has survived thousands of years by being together and spreading each other's germs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not so sure I'm sold on hey, let's quarantine each other.
Right.
But, again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not recommending you run around with your mask off or anything.
Would it be interesting, though, that if our college teams doing that so that they can play? Because, Ivy League said we're done. Nothing's happening there. And there's some other, up here, like the New York 8, or I forget the hell it is, but the JUCOs and all that kind of stuff, Brockport and all that here, they're shut down.
Some JUCO teams have decided they're going to have a spring season,
right? Which
is going to be weird because it might be 7 or 8 games, but some of these dudes are maybe not as likely at JUCO, but if D1 follows or D2 follows, you're going to have dudes playing their season and then bam, they're in preseason of football.
Right.
So that they could be in theory, they could have 12 straight months of contact football, which for 18, 19, well, not 18 because you can't be in the NFL at 18, but 20, 21, 22-year-olds, that's crazy, right? That's a bang on anybody. I don't care if you're 18 or 28.
They would definitely have to have some rules like, hey, you can only hit once a week. You can only, think about that. I played, the only one time I ever did it was played 2 games in one weekend. It was the year that we played Nationals down in 2004, and I played an all-star game the day prior to the Nationals, dude. And after that game, I was ice bath and hydrate and make sure I was eating. And we didn't, back then you didn't know any of the stuff that we have now, you know what I mean? To read, to get yourself back. But I'll never do that. It was one time I was like, I'm good.
Football's a different world, man. It's one of the few sports where you just can't line up and keep playing for hours on end. And hey, let's play a doubleheader. Let's play a triple header. Let's play 6 games this weekend. Yeah, no, let's not.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to be playing center, and then you're talking about an all-star game. So guys, they're going hard, but they're not going as hard. You know what I mean?
Right. For sure. All right. Well, we're this close to one of the top 4 major sports. I don't know much about basketball. I've been seeing which this is hilarious.
Oh my God!
I'm seeing they call it the bubble, right? They're on the NBA bubble.
There's a lot of YouTube videos. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there getting posted from those guys in the bubble, which is cool because
snitching on each other.
Yeah, which is The food situation is wild, though, right?
Right. Who's snitching? And they're not even sure if they're players, if there's executives, if it's all I'm hearing is this person was snitched on. This person was snitched on.
Oh, it's crazy.
This person got caught sneaking outside of the bubble. This person, it's like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. So the NBA, I think they're 2 weeks away from their start. Like I said, I'm not a big NBA guy, now that basically Jordan's out of it, so I don't pay much attention. But
it's been like 20 years, pal. I mean,
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's about how long it's been. That's why I only see small. I'm in a bubble when it comes to NBA. It's just very, very small.
And life.
I'll be honest with you. The LeBron, every day there's a LeBron story. I'm just tired of hearing it.
Yeah, I agree.
One way or another. So some football news. So let's first go to the good news.
Yeah.
The good news is Derrick Henry got paid.
Okay.
And he got paid fair, right? He's getting like 12 something a year. And basically what they're saying is he's not Zeke, he's not Saquon, and he's not McCaffrey, right? In most GM's eyes, those are the top 3 running backs, different orders. Mm-hmm. Some might have Zeke first, some might have Saquon first, some have, McCaffrey first.
Yep.
But they have those 3 usually as the top 3 because they're all ability to catch, especially catch, but run the ball, obviously.
Right.
Take a beating. All 3 of those guys have had plenty of carries. Take a beating. They can get to the second level and do things at the second level. They can catch the ball, and most importantly, they can block too. Mm-hmm. Those are the 3 dudes that when they usually talk about who are your 3 backs, those are the ones they're usually. Now, there's guys like Cook, right? Dalvin Cook, he's on the outskirts, probably knocking on the door of being in that level of them. Probably needs one more year, probably this year because he had the injury year, right?
Yeah.
So he probably needs this year. If he can do it again, and he's right up there with those dudes. So
you look at Gurley back, now that he's in Atlanta, you know what I mean? Maybe he'll get a little bit more carries there.
More touches, and hopefully he stays healthy. Yeah, if Gurley gets back to what he was 3 years ago.
Oh, my God.
Gurley's in the top 5, too. The 5 would basically be the 3 I mentioned.
Yeah.
And then you also got Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb gets a lot of mention. So there's some dudes out there that, are part of it. Travis Henry is not. He's usually the top of the next tier.
Right.
And he's such a freak. How many dudes are 6'2", 2, one.
Oh, and he's fast.
Shannon Sharp said he stood next to that cat.
Yeah.
And Shannon said he's like 240, 245 at the time. Yeah. And he said, Travis Henry dwarfs me. He goes, I think he's playing at 260. So you got a cat running weighing 260, running a 4.4, dude.
Yeah.
So he's just a freak.
A train coming downhill, ready to take you out.
Yeah, so he's just a different animal. I mean, he's just, he's not explosive, but he's fast, if that makes sense. You know, he doesn't cut on a dime.
But when he hits the hole, when he hits the hole, he turns downhill, and then when he's going downhill, it's not a pretty sight.
But he reminds me of Dickerson, in the terms of Dickerson was explosive, right? Yep. But he also ran just about straight up. And that's how Henry is. And when Henry gets in the open field, he does what Dickerson does.
Yep.
It's that track lean, right?
Yep. And he's gone.
Track, and then he's gone, right? Yeah. So in that style, it reminds me of Dickerson. Dickerson was, in my opinion, a much better all-around running back, obviously. Right. But just kind of gives that idea. So next in football, the last before our Rashad's ready to jump on here, J.J. Watt is saying the guys want to play ball, but they want some parameters outlined, right? They basically want to, hey, what's acceptable, what isn't? We're not going to start playing. And apparently the Players Association has been getting together and having some Zoom meetings. And so let's be continued on that one. And then also on the side news, Cowboys fans, obviously I'm a Cowboys fan. Dak didn't sign his long-term deal, apparently.
Zeke thinks he's the greatest running back ever. Yeah. Dallas is going to win the Super Bowl. What else do you got right now?
I didn't say they won the Super Bowl.
No, but that's what Dallas stands.
Here's what I'm going to say. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry says, I need y'all talking smack in the offseason so that our name stays relevant. Dak, we're not going to get anything finalized until right down the last day because we want to keep our team in the.
Yeah, but shit. They're new head coach, new staff. Like, don't you have enough love in the? You know what I mean? Like, we don't hear about Joe Judge all the time, and in New York, it's always Dallas.
They're not worth $5 billion either, and the Cowboys are. So,
but still can't win a Super Bowl. All right, so there you go.
Wow, that's true. Listen, your wins are in the past now too, my friend.
You're right. I don't even disagree with you.
Right.
Even disagree with you. We'll as long as we can get a quarterback that doesn't fumble all the time, we might be all right.
I think you'll be closer to 8-8 than you will be to 2-14.
Yeah, they're going to get better. I think you have a new coach, a new system that's going to take at least a year, right?
That's the Giants, by the way, folks. We're talking about the Giants.
New York Giants, New York Football Giants.
New York Football Giants. So
that's right.
All right, so listen, folks, we got to take a break. So we'll be right back with you. Hey, folks, thanks for watching. Please do us a favor. Tackle that subscription bar. Stiff arm the bell. That way you'll get notifications when our new episodes come out. Thanks again for watching.
All right, here we are back with our guest, Semi-Pro Gridiron Rant. And this is, Kenny was just saying this before we rejoined, this is the first time we've had somebody on that neither of us know, but you're in basically both of my worlds, but then just football end. But Rashad Palmer joining us, strongman and football.
Correct.
Which is funny because I don't think that I could be playing now and doing strongman at the same time. I got to be totally honest.
Right.
It would probably hurt a lot. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Thank y'all for having me on the show. I really appreciate it, man. I really do. It's an honor.
Yeah, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's kind of cool because I was perusing through a couple of the semi-pro sites that are out there, and all of a sudden I see this monster of a man squatting 700 plus pounds. I'm like, damn! I said, we gotta see if we can get this cat on the phone. And so he's decided. I reached out to him, and he was gracious and very nice to me. And I said, yeah, he'd be honored to join us. So here he is, our first. We don't know him, so we're going to let's start with this, my man. Why don't you tell us, as far back as you want to go, tell us your football journey. Like, what got you into football, and then kind of your successes along the way that got you into semi, and then we'll end with your strongman days. But let's kind of walk us through what got you into football, and we'll go from there.
Got you. Okay. Well, I'm originally from Alabama. That's my hometown. Born. That's where I'm raised. Played pee-wee. Played high school ball. Been playing football all my life. My whole family is football. Brothers, fathers, uncles. It was just football. And being in Alabama, which is a well-known state for football, is either you're gonna be Alabama or Auburn. So of course, I'm a big Alabama fan. Love Alabama. And then I transitioned and moved to Houston. And it's kind of weird how I ran into semi-pro, man. I was actually, I think I was driving somewhere, and I just seen a bunch of guys on the football field, and I was like, man, what are they doing? I just stopped. And the owner of the team gave me a lot of information, which at that time was the spring heat. The spring heat. It's a little city out here called Spring, and that was the thing with the team, the spring heat. And I ended up a guy named Brian owned the team, and he gave me the information. I tried out for the team, and I made it. And at that time, I was playing like fullback and everything. So I liked it, and that team was a part of the GCFA. And then it went to the TUFA, which is the Texas Ultimate Football Association, which is ran by a couple, Miss Pamela and Yogi Mitchell, which are really great people who own the TUFA. And then I ended up going to the Texas Beast, which is another team that I won a championship with. Great team that was owned by a guy named Katie Richardson. He gave me a chance to play with him. And I ended up going to New Caney, and I played with quite a few teams in semi-pro. Mm-hmm. And it's been fun. It's really, really fun, man. I love football. And I ended up going to Tomball, which was my last team, Tomball Bobcats, which was a great team. And they gave me a chance to play with them. A team that's been around for at least the last 8, 9 years. Really, really good organization. They take care of their guys, and they gave me a chance to play with them. Which at this time I'm transitioning now. I'm transitioning to the interior, which is defensive line, offensive line. Because I'm getting older, and then at this time I'm picking up. I'm lifting all this weight, I'm gaining weight, and so now I'm playing offensive line, defensive line. So I ended up playing with them for a couple of years, and I ended up getting a chance. I'm getting a chance now to play with the Texas Colts, which is a well-renowned organization. Mr. Rondell Massey, who owns that team, they've won quite a few championships themselves. So that's what my journey will be these next couple of seasons.
Okay.
So you started as a fullback, and so you obviously smaller guy, right? Like, you know what I mean? And then
at that time I was a much smaller guy. At that time, when I first started, I want to say I was around maybe 230, 245, maybe 250 range.
Okay.
And they let me touch the ball a little bit, and I did pretty good there. And so I was a fullback, and I ended up now became an interior lineman.
How tall are you?
5'9" and a half. So 5'9" and a half with cleats on. About 5'10" with cleats on.
That's a mean fullback, man. 5'9", 5'10", and 250. I'm 5'11". I played about 245, 250, and I played some tight end. I called it H-back, right? I played tight end and some fullback and kind of hybrid in between. But that's a 5'9". That's a thick boy. What I find amazing with semi-pro ball is, so far everyone we've talked to, nobody's really gone looking for semi-pro ball. It kind of found every one of us.
And it finds you. And you'll be amazed, Ken, the talent that's out here, man. I'm talking about there's some cats out here, man, that can really go. And it really amazes me. The part that amazes me about semi-pro is a lot of these guys that are playing semi-pro, it's like the guys that they really should be in the NFL.
Right.
Especially if you guys ever get a chance. I know you said you in Austin. You said you in Austin, right?
I'm up by Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. Okay, because we played a few teams in Fort Worth. Right, in fact, it's a team up there not called the Fort Worth Dream. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they're getting ready to start up. If you ever get a chance to take a look at our league, it's the TUFA. Man, it's a lot of talent in the TUFA. I mean, it's from receivers to quarterbacks to linemen, to just owners themselves. Like I said, the Tomball Bobcats, they had, two of the best owners that you can ask for. With Eddie and Chris, it was those two guys, man. They were awesome owners. Semi-pro is great, man. It's really fun. It keeps a lot of guys busy. It keeps a lot of guys out of trouble. It opens doors for people. I mean, it does a lot of things, man. It does a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'm thankful for is, I stumbled upon it because my history is I've been in the car business for basically since I was 19. So my first job, I was a sales manager, and one of my reps came up to me and said, "Hey, I was in the paper this morning, and you played ball in high school, right? And played a little college." I'm like, "Yeah, it's been a while, a couple, 3 years, whatnot." And he said, "Syracuse is looking." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And then I ended up calling. At the time, because it was so long ago, they had a hotline, right? They had a special direct line that you'd leave a voicemail. Coach ended up calling me back, and so I basically stumbled into it. Someone else found it for me, and then you just fall in love, man. It's like it's a great level. It definitely helps having. It sounds like you had a good history of ownership. It definitely helps when you have good owners, good coaching. Let's be honest, there's some teams out there that probably shouldn't have teams, but
that's true too. That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of teams out there. A lot of teams out there that shouldn't be teams, but like I said, I had a chance to play for some great owners. Like I said, the KD Richardsons, Eddie and Chris, now Mr. Rondell Massey. So it's a lot of great owners out there that take care of their team, that take care of their players. And with a lot of them, it's not even. Sometimes it's deeper than football. Sometimes you have it's a family. You get to experience that as well. A lot of guys don't even have a chance to experience that. You get a chance to find a band of brothers and sisters, even team moms that take care of you.
For sure. We had it's one of the questions I like to ask because we've had a series of owners on here, like the first maybe four episodes of the first 8, at least half, maybe more, have been owners.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to ask them, has there been a chance, or a coach, has there been an opportunity where someone has thanked you, or, you know, and every one of them to a man has said, yeah, like even my personal experience is I had someone come up to me and thank me and said, you know, if it wasn't for this team, I'd be in jail or dead. And he was dead ass serious.
Oh man. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, I see. Good thing is for me, it was always, I guess, even with the coaches, you know, a couple of coaches I've had, they've been there for me in tough times, and I've had tough times, you know, just for talking to me, for praying for me. You know, again, I hate to keep, you know, call these guys names, but like I said, with Eddie and Chris, and, you know, on my last team, Coach Ernest Brown, Coach Porche, Coach Kevin, those guys were great. Those are great guys, man. And, you know, and a lot of these coaches do it, and they're not even getting paid to do this. You know, so they're putting a lot of this time, effort. They teaching you, they going over videos with you, inviting you into their home, watch videos, teaching you. There's a lot of those guys there's a lot of coaches out there that's like that I played for, and I just, you know, I thank those guys a whole lot. And like you said, they're, you know, and the guys that have thanked me myself personally. There's quite a few, like I said, young guys that I've brought into the game that has been very thankful for me introducing them to my pro.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you had the opportunity maybe to take it up a level from semi-pro and playing at a little arena or anything at that level?
I got invited to a couple of arena invites, man, but I never took advantage of it. You know, I looked at it like, hey, I've been playing ball all my life. I'm 33. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like this is gonna be I'm gonna probably give it one or two more seasons. This might be it, because I'm really looking to transitioning my career full time into strongman after this. So, you know, I just, you know, I had the opportunity to go to those trials, but I never went. You know, I was just like, you know, maybe.
Yeah, it's funny you say that about the transitioning, because every one of us to a man has that conversation with ourselves. Every one of us. Mine was at 38. You know, Jamie's was at 36. Yours is at 33. So we all have. It comes a point where we have that conversation with ourselves, and it's, you know, it usually goes something like this. Man, Ken, I love this game. I love the guys. I love the game. I love how it makes me feel. But damn, my body hates this game.
Your body,
can't
do I
take
want
it
to
no
go
more.
run these? Yeah, do I want to go run these sprints today? Do I want to go to practice today? You know, God, do I want to deal with this heat today? Like, it just, you start asking yourself that. You know, when you start asking yourself that, it's you know it's about that time. You know. Yeah. So
for me, it was when the fear of injury kicked in. Right, when you start thinking, what if I get hurt? That's when I knew it's time to go.
It's time to go. That hadn't hit me yet.
You know,
what I think where I'm at now is with me is you know, are you still ready to run these sprints? Are you still ready to get out here in this heat? The fear of injury hadn't hit me yet. I think about it a lot. You know, especially, you know, I'm married. I have 3 kids. I think about it a lot, but that hadn't hit me yet. But I know it's coming.
Right.
And I know when that part do come, you know, it's gonna be time for me to hang it up and probably start coaching. And at that time, I'll be ready to pay more attention to my strongman career and try to pursue my pro card and that. So yeah.
Right. And folks, this man's not lazy. So I know some of you might be sitting back going, "Oh, you're just too lazy. You don't want to run your sprints." I'm going to try to put some of his videos up on here in between this conversation, and I'm gonna, if that's okay with you, by the way.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, sure. Feel free.
And there's one where what was those half squats you were doing? 800 something pounds, and he did a deadlift. It was like 7.25 or 750.
Yeah, it was a hack squat was 8. I think it was an 860 hack squat, and I think one of those deadlifts was like 675. I think I did, and I got a log on there where I think I'm doing like a 3 something log. I'm not sure which one of those logs is. I got several videos that I hadn't posted yet, man. A lot of lifts that I hadn't posted yet. So I'm just trying to get my name up there, man, because, you know, I don't know if you, like I said, it's a lot of, like, I know I'm strong, but there's a lot of cats in this world. Like, of course, you know, Thor Bjornsson and Eddie Hall and the Stoltman brothers. Those guys are monsters of the world.
Yeah, they're
that's where I'm trying to
6'9",
get my
not
name.
5'9", right?
Not 5'9", right? Yeah.
They're 400 pounds of mass humanity, right? So it's
they're huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, this is where this is Jamie's expertise. So I'm gonna let him rant a little bit with you on the strongman side. And I'm gonna sit back and listen to some of these stories. This stuff.
No, just my biggest thing is I know we all have not just a football story, but I mean, me and you are unique enough to have that strongman story on how we ended up into it. I mean, I know how I ended up into it was I was done playing ball. I shot up to 480. You know what I mean? And I needed to lose weight and, start losing weight, doing all those things. And then I needed some competition in my life. You know what I mean? Like you get to that point where you're just like, you need to see, you've done it all your life. You need to do something. But what ended up, bringing you into strongman?
So, one day, man, I was in Gold's gym. And I was lifting and, I've always been a strong person. I've always had some strength. And, I had a guy that was working out. His name was we call him Bear. His real name was Ted. And me and Ted was working out. Ted seen me working out. He said, "Hey man, you ever thought about strongman?" I said, "Man, I don't know." Because at this time, I was getting ready. I wanted to do powerlifting.
Okay.
And he was like, "Man, powerlifting is fun. It is cool. But man, I do strongman." And Ted, man, this dude, he's strong. He's in the Masters division, but man, this dude, deadlift for 700, 300-pound log. I'm like, wow. I didn't know the log was. I didn't know the log was. I hadn't even touched the log. Didn't know what yokes, formers, all that stuff. Didn't know what none of that stuff was. And so he brought me to the gym that he worked out with. And at the time, we was working out with this guy that go by the name of Stone. And we went to his gym, and he had all the, he had the stones, he had everything, right? So we ended up working out.
Yep.
Huh?
He had all the toys.
Yeah, he has all the toys, right? So I'm like, man, all this stuff, I ain't even doing none of this stuff, So he said, man, I'm trying it out one day, and and it was totally different. It was a totally different world from powerlifting. And so, I started doing it, and I kept going back, and before I know it, I fell in love with it. And from there, I did my first competition, and I won my first competition. And I was like, man, you know what? I love this. My wife liked it. And I kept training my butt off, And then I ended up transitioning to another gym that had way more stuff. And I started meeting more people. My avenues started growing. Mm-hmm. And I ran. And then I started noticing, and I would ask Ted, I said, hey, man, what's the next step? And he would teach me these different techniques. And then he started saying, hey, why don't you start filming your lifts? That way to help you and to help you grow your platform, to help you get the following and all that stuff. So I said, okay. So, man, and ever since then, that's what I did. And so Stone had made this crazy boat squat. It was like this he made this little thing. It was like
I've seen that. Yeah.
You seen this little boat squat?
I've seen that, yeah. Yep.
So he made this little boat squat. So I think I put I had something like 7 something on the boat squat. I think I did. No, it was like 650. 650 or 675, one of them, where you could put people in it, sandbags, and you could load the side with the weight. Man, I'm squatting there, and ever since then, that video went crazy. So people was like, man, I like this. This is crazy, man. What you doing? And so, and I just fell in love with the sport, and that, I just went from there, man.
Yeah, I think it's funny that people don't understand. You go to your first contest, and I know half the time, you were lucky enough to have the stuff to train on right before you walked into your first contest. But a lot of times, I know for me, first contest we had Conan's wheel. Not people just don't have that, right? It's not a regular gym.
No, they don't.
So you're training on a Zercher, or you're training, you're not used to going around. A Viking press, a lot of people don't have that. I mean, yeah, you can you can finagle it into a gym setup, but it's never the same, right?
Right.
So yeah, we had some of that stuff. My first contest, we did it, and that's the same thing with you. I fell in love. I sucked, you know what I mean? But it was the first time I got to deadlift a car. So then you're like, okay, this isn't so bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was my matter of fact. As you mentioned, my first time, my first competition, the first time I got a chance to squat a car. They had a car squat. I got a chance to squat a car, man. It was fun, man. And ever since then, I just, like I said, I just been in love with the sport.
Well, I remember the first time I drove a car. Does that count, guys?
Not really, Kenny.
Damn.
Not really.
Damn.
But what is your favorite event in a contest?
I'm gonna definitely go ahead and say the car squat because I mean it's me being the height that I am in this sport, squatting is gonna be easy for me because I don't have far to go.
Yep.
So it's gonna be the car squat. I'm gonna say the yoke.
Okay.
I like the yoke. The log. Yeah, definitely those three: the car squat, the yoke, and the log. Yeah,
nice.
Definitely those three.
So just, Kenny, to break it down for you, okay? So for a super heavyweight, I'm in the Masters now, so everything's a lot lighter in my life, which is beautiful. But you're looking at probably an 800 to 900 yoke, depending on if you're in a top-level competition.
Right.
You're looking at your deadlift's going to be 750, 8.
At least 7. Yep, at least 7. They're the bare minimum 7 for rep.
Log and the log is probably going to be about 310, 320, depending on if you're at nationals, it's going to be there. That's starting weights for you, Kenny. You're in the old man division, so you'd probably be all right.
I was going to say, if I decided to come out of retirement here, and I've been training, by the way, I'm down to 229 pounds. Woohoo! But
man, congratulations.
Well, thank you. So, I was actually thinking if I come home and I wanted to train with you, right? I might come home for a month or two.
I told you, man.
Is there a master? Like, is there a, hey, you're 48, old man, you need to go over on this side?
There's a 40 plus and a 50 plus.
Okay.
In the 50 plus, yeah.
Yep. And in most local contests, it's 40 plus. When you get to nationals, they'll run a 50
I may take you up on that offer. I may train with you for a month or two and just.
You realize
it's a fun sport. It's a fun sport, man. And if you ever in Houston, I'm at Grindhouse Fitness. If you're ever in Houston, my gym is Grindhouse Fitness. It's a gym that's ran by Alyssa and Dusty, two great owners. You can come work out with me. And I, show you some stuff.
So listen, one of our deals is we want to watch some games live and broadcast a game, or at least do like behind the scenes stuff. And I know, well, at least it looks like from what I've seen on some of the Facebook posts, are there games being played in Houston right now?
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Yeah, it's a couple teams out here right now. It's the BSFL. They got a couple games going on. Couple BSFL. Yeah,
Gotcha.
It's a couple teams playing right now. Yeah, if you ever in it, the good thing about it, if you ever want to try to come catch some of the Colts games, let me know, man. We can definitely set some stuff up. It'll be really fun. You'll love the atmosphere.
That'd be cool. So here's my question, and some of these people listening are probably going to say, they're going to scratch their head and they're going to say, now, isn't Houston one of like the epicenters of the COVID virus right now? So what's transpired? Maybe you had the answer to this, maybe you don't, but what's your thoughts on playing and what kind of debates were going on about playing based on, the second tier of
the COVID?
Yeah.
So right now, me being in TUFA, our league is not playing right now. Like I said, Pam and Yogi, who own the league, they're great people. They shut the league down for right now due to that because, again, it's about health. It's about being able to go home to your family. So right now, they're not even allowing football to go on right now. And plus, we're a fall league anyway. We're not a summer league. So,
that helps.
when the fall does roll around, and if we have a clear green light to play, then of course we're gonna play. But if not, they're not gonna put lives at risk just to play football.
That's good to hear. So when does in a normal year, when does your preseason, like when do you start? Like we played in the fall league and we would start practicing April 1st, and we would go maybe go Saturdays. Well, remember we're also in the snow belt, so we would practice we'd maybe practice on Saturday. Sometimes we would have like one or two indoor practices in like January because it's pretty expensive to rent out these domes, right, to practice in up there. So we would rent out a couple in January, a couple in February, a couple in March, and we'd go every Saturday or every Sunday in April, and then May we'd go 3 days a week, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, we're playing all summer, and it's hot as hell.
Yeah, and we roll up. You know, our first game's usually right around that, right after 4th of July weekend. It'd be the next weekend usually was our first games. What's your scheduling like when you say fall league?
So for us, we normally probably start because I don't. The coach haven't released when everything's going to start, but I know when I was talking about everything started right around. I want to say August. Not August. No, not August. August when we'll be having like our little like our get together and they're giving us the schedule. So I want to say November. We'll probably start like some training, and then because the season's going to start in February. So from November all the way up to January is when we'll be training and maybe have 1 or 2 preseason games, and then the season starts in February.
Okay, so you're in a position. Yeah, you're basically in a position where you could still have a season this year.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, hopefully, we probably could. Hopefully.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
So as far as back to the Strongman, like, are you a USS guy? Are you a Strongman Corporation guy? You know, because that's always right. That's always who, you know, what side are you on? Or you just say, I don't care.
Gotcha.
I'm just going to compete at cool contests. That's just kind of how I operate.
So I kind of competed at both. I competed USS and I competed Strongman. I like them both. I like USS because they have like a lot of the different events. Like I said, they may have a squat event. They may have different like they may have like a keg over bar instead of stone.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go the other side, it's gonna always be tradition. It's gonna always be deadlift, stone, yoke. It's gonna always be the traditional lifts, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was competing in both. Preference. My preference. I like USS. I like USS. I really do.
Yeah, it's always because you always end up going one way or the other, but a lot of people don't know. You want to go compete at the Arnold's as the amateur there, you got to go through Strongman Corp, and then you got to go through
Strongman Corp. Yep, you do.
Which is it's a tough thing. But now we're a USS. I promote USS events up here, so you know, Willie's been up here a couple times, so it's kind of cool to have him here. And but now he's got his foot into a couple different bigger events, so it's actually kind of nice that he's got like the Europas that they're going to be doing stuff in. So you'll be in front of bigger people too. So, but the Arnold's. Like you're not, you know, there's that's like the top notch, right? Right. The Arnold is that's the granddaddy of them all. You know, so yeah, that's where you want to be. You know, that's the stage. So
earlier you had said you're once you retire from football, you want to go after your pro card. So what kind of break down what it takes to get your pro card in Strongman?
Oh man, a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. Basically, you have to try to you got to qualify for nationals. Once you qualify for nationals, you got to place in nationals. If I'm not mistaken, I think they added you got to place at least 1 through 3.
Yep.
But the thing about that is, you know, you're talking about in your division, in your class, you may have 50, 60 competitors.
Yep.
And you got to place 1 through 3 to get your pro card. Once you get your pro card, then I think you get an Arnold invite or Arnold amateur invite.
Yeah.
Then once you get your Arnold amateur invite, I think you have to actually win that. You got to win that, if I'm not mistaken. I think you have to win that, and then once you win that, then that's when you start really competing on the professional circuit.
Yeah, it's a tough deal because, like we were saying, Strongman Corporation basically owns if you want to compete with the Thors and the Shaws and those guys, it's all Strongman Corporation. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit tougher end there to get into that end. USS doesn't really have a pro division per se yet, so that's
you're right. They don't have that yet. They don't have a pro yet. That pro division yet. Yeah, that's why I'm hoping Mr. Willie can go ahead and get that ball rolling, man. I hope he can, because that'd be great. You know, if he can get the USS to have a pro division, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, he has a the only good thing with what he has the connections to the Arnolds across the world. So sometimes you'll end up competing in a contest where that winner of the heavyweight class, super heavyweight class, will end up going to Australia or South Africa or wherever the Arnold's. There's, England I think is going to have Eddie just is going to be promoting an Arnold there, but so he has those kind of opportunities. So there's a lot. There's a lot out there. There really is.
Right. It is. It really is. Yeah. It just man. I'm really I'm just blessed and glad to be where I am in both sports. Really.
I like it.
My body hadn't failed me. I have no injuries. It's a blessing to be able to do both of these sports, and I can say I can still walk good. I have no injuries, and I'm walking around at 370. So that's a major deal for me.
So you say you're 33?
33 years old, yes, sir.
You're in the wheelhouse, brother. You're good, man. I started at 36. I'll be the first to tell you that Strongman was just for fun for me, but 33 is you're definitely in the wheelhouse there, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really glad to be where I am. So I just got to keep grinding and keep my head to the ground, keep digging.
That's it.
Hey, Jamie, can you do me a favor?
Yeah, man.
Can you send my man one of those Fatletics shirts and I'll pay for it?
I could do that.
Yeah. You got any other colors?
I'd have to look. I think I might have some of the logos I can put on any color. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pay for a shirt to get sent to you. All right, buddy. And
thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
This is absolutely. That's Jamie's. I wouldn't say he's got a clothing line, but he's got a few sayings and a couple of cool shirts. And that's one that I think you qualify for, man. You're a fullback gone O-line, D-line, baby. You are Fatletic, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I really am. I thank you.
We take that as a compliment these days.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
So, all right, I'll get that handled for you. We'll take care of that. And then, we're going to wrap this up a little bit here, but we have an exit question that we love to ask our client or our guests, I guess.
Ask away. Ask away.
All right. And my man Jamie likes to do the honor, so I'm going to let him ask.
All right, so here's the deal. All right, we've been putting rookie season out there, but you can put any season. Now, anybody knows that semi-pro, there's always an ultimate fight somewhere in a semi-pro game, or it just happens to you. So, and it could be any season, but do you have a fight story? And will you share it with us?
Oh, man. Yes. So we were playing. It's crazy, man. We were playing the Wolverines, and the Wolverines. I'll never forget this team. We were playing Wolverines, and they were killing us, man. I think we were down by like 2-3 touchdowns, and we had just so happened to score, and we were getting ready to kick the field goal. And so the guy was talking. He was talking, and he kept talking, and so. Field goal, I'm like, my chin strap wasn't all the way buckled. So I said, okay. I said, come hard. And so he came hard. He came hard as he could. And I smoked him, right? He get up. He gets mad. He want to fight. He started fighting. He's swinging. And at this time, my wife was in the stand. And again, man, this is not my personality, guy. This is not my personality, but the guy just really got under my skin. So, he came hard and I rocked him, right? And he get up, he mad, he start swinging. So I hit the guy, he hit me, I hit him. And when he hit me and I hit him, he rolled. It's like how somebody teleport and they come back? That's kind of like how it was. He rolled, it's like he left his body, he came back, helmet was off. And of course I got ejected. We got kicked out, of course. And it was just one of those crazy things, man. And after the game, and then after the game, he was like, man, he apologized. We shook hands and stuff. But he was like, man, at the end, he was like, why you hit me so hard? And I was like, why you hit me so hard? So we shook hands and stuff. But yeah, that was the only fight that I've had that bad where I got kicked out. Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's always one. We've always had.
It's always, of course, because you're gonna talk your junk. You're gonna talk your stuff on the field. You're gonna say what you got to say. But it's and a lot of time it just be in the heat of the moment. It's nothing serious. It just that time it got serious. So yeah.
Well,
I like it.
That's
there
awesome.
you go.
Well, listen, my man, I definitely, you don't have no idea how much I appreciate you joining us, bringing someone in from another part of the country, sharing your story.
Right.
It's funny how we're so different, yet we're so the same. Like I said, we all stumble into the sport. Very few people are like, hey, I was looking for semi-pro ball. It finds
Right.
us, And one thing I want to say,
man.
it absolutely does. One thing I want to say to people is like Rashad said earlier, he posted a video for his Strongman. That's how I found him. So anybody who's out there trying to be found in anything, I don't care if it's underwater basket weaving, post videos, dude.
Post a video. That's right.
There's a guy, and I'm going to plug this guy, and he does not pay us. He does not. This is just a podcast I listen to a lot. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk, but he goes by Gary V, and that's what he talks about. The future is post videos, post content, post a lot of it, because you never know. So, Rashad, you may be famous someday, and when that happens, just forget us little guys. Don't forget us little guys along the way.
Most definitely. Hey, man, when you guys talk show blow up, man, I want to be back on the show. I'm back on the show.
You'll be on before we blow up, buddy. We'll take it. We'll have you back on. Listen, spread the word for us in Houston. If you know somebody has a great story, man, have them reach out or give me, if they ask if I can reach out to them. And we just kind of want to. My goal for this whole podcast was I want to show how great the sport is. A lot of people, it's a bunch of old age men trying to relive their youth, their glory days, right? But in reality, you got a lot of dudes trying to accomplish a lot of things through the game and after the game. And that's that's the part I like sharing. So if you know people with cool stories, obviously anybody you can help, click the old subscribe button and follow us along and share stories. And we just want to, make this, we want to blow up semi-pro ball and what else other people are doing after semi-pro, right? We want to write a guy, author. He sold a couple books off our show and, onesie twosies along the way, man. We're all here to help each other. And, this semi-pro world is a big family, and there's hundreds of thousands of us across this nation that have a great semi-pro story to tell. So,
right. And if you guys ever in Houston, man, come check us out. Again, you can find our website, which is the TFA. Again, it's ran by Mr. Yogi Mitchell and Pamela Mitchell, two great guys, and the Texas Colts, which is owned by Rondell Massey. Go check us out. Come check us out, man. If you guys ever in Houston around the fall time, want to catch some games, come check us out.
Oh, I'll come down and see you for sure. I'm going to say it right on the show. Book it, Dano. I'm going to come down because I'm like maybe 6 hours from you. So I'll come down. I'll stay a weekend. I'll watch a game. I'll check out your gym. We'll grab a burger or something, and
yes, sir.
We'll talk. We'll rant some football stuff. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Again, we really appreciate your time, and thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Right. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye now.
See you, man.
All right, man. That was, I know I keep saying these are awesome, but dude, these are freaking awesome. I mean, that's a guy that neither of us knew. Yep. We just had a 45-minute conversation with this cat, and we could have kept on going. But, it's to me, it's interesting. It seems to be so far we've reached New York, Colorado, South Texas, and Florida, and everyone's story is similar. It's just semi-pro ball found me. Mm-hmm. It's just I'm finding that fascinating. And the fact that, a lot of these cats don't just say, hey, when football's over, my life's over. And I think why I find that interesting, honestly, and I haven't told this to many people, but one of my fears of retiring from football was I was going to get fat and lazy because I had nothing else to work for. And guess what? I got fat. Yeah, I blew up. I was 280, dude. 282 was my top
I think you, because what happens is you are so used to, especially I know when I went to college, you work everything off as fast as you put it in your system, right? Mm-hmm. But I think you got so used to it's my athletic time, right? And then, even through your 20s, you just eat whatever the fuck you want, right? You're doing pizza and wings and soda and this and that. And then you get in your 30s and you're still doing that because you're still balling. You still know you're going to get in shape through the summer because, you're going to play in the heat. Right. And then you get into them late 30s and you're like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what happened to me before I came back to play with you. I'd stopped playing because of work. Mm-hmm. And then I blew up. And then I lost a bunch because I started playing again. In that first game, I was like, dude, I can't even get in a 3-point stance right now. Like, I was barely touching the ground with a finger. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I got to get myself. So I worked myself back into shape. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude, everybody's got that. And now you hit 41. I mean, I'm carrying probably 100 pounds more than I should be, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm working on it. But yeah, no, you're right. We lose that competition and we lose that working out, and because those were our workouts, and then you put weight on.
Well, what's weird in my life is football and my career have kind of paralleled each other. When I've advanced in football, I was also advancing in my career. Right. And so I was working more, playing more ball, coaching more, doing more. So I was doing all this stuff, staying busy, still going to the gym, blah, blah, blah. Yep. But then when football ended, that portion of my career ended like shortly after.
Right.
So it was almost like I had to reinvent myself. Yeah. And in that, I used to train at Leroy's gym, and I was training just before I was training a client. I was actually doing standing shoulder presses, standing militaries, and my back popped. And I kept working out for like 45 minutes. The next morning, the next morning I couldn't get out of bed, dude. And my back was bad, real bad. And so for like a year, I made it an excuse not to work out, right? And then that year turned into 5, and that 5 turned into 10. And then finally, when the COVID hit, I'm just like, you fat bastard. You've spent the last several months going from 280 to 250, but now you need some muscle, dude. You're going to get that muscle back on. And that's kind of when I started working out. And then once I got comfortable, I reached out to Stefan, and, he put me on my diet and whatnot. Yeah. But it's just amazing how, so those that are listening out there, you're not alone when it comes to once football's over. What's your next thing? I took up guitar for a little while because I wanted the mental challenge and the dexterity challenge, right? Keep my hand and whatnot busy. Mm-hmm. I still play a little bit, but that just didn't float my boat. It's all comes back to now it's this, right? I really love doing this. I love I love bullshitting with you and Wolf.
Because you can talk shit. That's why.
Well, I've been actually, you'd be surprised how many people reached out to me and go, dude, you're just like a natural. You talk shit the whole time.
Oh, God.
I'm like, hey, it happens. I'm a shit talker. I'm a shit talker.
Tell these people to stop doing that. Okay,
dude,
stop.
When you've been 30 years in sales, you better learn how to fucking talk.
You're right. No, you're right.
You better keep talking, right? No. So it just kind of happens. But listen, folks, so a couple things again. Lesson for today. No matter what you're doing, put shit on the internet, dude. You never know what's going to happen. So just put that shit out there. Don't be scared. Put your shit out there. Jamie puts crazy shit out there all the time. I laugh. He has me laughing all the time. Dude, Jamie puts his walks out there. I don't do that. I probably should, but he'll put his 2-mile walk or his 1.5-mile walk out there. Maybe, I don't want to make it look like it's a competition, but I do 3 or 4 miles. I ought to put mine out there just to show what's going on, but just do it, dude. Just go out there and do it. So,
well, I think Insta stories and Snapchat type stuff and Facebook
Can you speak
stories.
English, please? Can you speak English?
I know. But I think Insta stories is kind of make it easier because you don't have to just post it and everybody sees it. You can put it in the stories and not everybody watched. Obviously, you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Right,
you're talking Latin right now.
I know. But I think that's the way to go. So, all right, let's wrap it up, man.
All right, I gotta go. Great week. I know it's we had to change it to Saturday night tonight, so you got to get your beer clock on. So, listen, appreciate your time today. Listen, buddy, have a great week. Enjoy camping next week.
Yeah, man.
Tell the family I said hello and enjoy your weekend.
All right, buddy. You too, man.